Hi everybody, it's Christine at the Steak and Brush. I'm back today with another foundation review. I know I do a lot of these, but I love foundation. And today we're going to try the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. This was actually given to me by Mandy, also of the Steak and Brush, and this is in Buff Bisque. So I'm not sure if this is going to be the right shade. This was her shade, but she didn't like it, so I'm going to try it. Now I've heard a lot about this online. People either seem to love it or hate it. So we're going to see where I fall on that. I have a little bit of product information on it. From Wet n Wild, they say your skin only better. Wet n Wild high performing skin perfecting photo focus liquid foundation underwent major road testing under 7 different photo lighting conditions to deliver flawless camera ready makeup every time. Specifically made with a matte light diffusing complex to give your skin a hashtag no filter perfection. We'll see if it actually does that. Let's go ahead. I have prepped and primed my face. Prime using my Touch of Soul No Problem primer, which I know works for almost all of my foundations. Get out my trusted little cat ears to try to keep all this hair out of my way. And we will start. Okay, I will also remind you, these are the 5 things that I'm looking for in a foundation. I'm looking to see how it rests on my face. Does it actually blend in? Does it look like it is moving around? Does it seep into fine lines here? Does it show polka dot pores, especially around my nose? I'm looking for it to cover sunspots that I have in my high cheekbone areas. I'm looking for long wear. It has to, absolutely has to last at least 8 hours, but I would really like it to go more for a 10 or 12. Transfer, I don't want it to transfer on my clothes, everything transfers on the phone, but I don't want it to be horrible when it transfers on my phone. Don't want it on my hands, don't want it on everything. And the final is kind of my catch-all. It's where I'm looking at miscellaneous items that pop up that aren't in those 4 categories, and I'm also looking at how it lives up to the claims that the manufacturer is making. So I'm looking for flawless skin with a light diffusing complex, so I look like I'm not using any filters. Not that I am, but I want it to look perfect with no filters, because that's what that claims. So let's see what we've got here. We've got, oh, it's not really a doe foot, but it's kind of a paddle here. So I'm going to do this side with my beauty blender, and I'll do the other side with a brush. It doesn't say how much to use. It doesn't say how much coverage it gives. It doesn't say anything like if it's buildable, so we're just going to play around and see. Now I can tell you the thing that everyone says, and it's absolutely true, this smells like paint, like you're just painting your walls. It is just, it's a very prominent smell. I know that is the biggest reason, or a big reason, that Mandy did not like it. So we'll see if it diffuses enough for me. I am not usually bothered too much by smells, but if you are, you will probably want to stay away from this. The color match is actually pretty good for me. I probably would not have tried something quite so dark, but again, I still have some summer sun. It's not much coverage just with that. I would say it is a light medium, but I think it goes on pretty well with the blending sponge. I don't see any texture or anything like that coming through. So we'll try it with the brush here and see what it does, and then I'm going to see if we can build it up a little bit, because I definitely want a little more coverage. Flawless, no filter might be easy if you're 22 years old, but I need a bit more. So I am just going in with my Lamora Kabuki brush. I just got this off of Amazon. I do like it though. I will say it does look very, very smooth. I know some people will have a problem with it being matte. Lots of people like that loomy kind of finish, but I like a matte. I can do luminous every once in a while, but for my everyday, I want matte. It blends out very, very easily. I have no problem getting it everywhere I need it to be. Okay, so let's take a little better look at this. So I'm gonna get a little mirror here so I can look at it while not obstructing your view. Yeah, it is definitely, it's not concealing fully. Settling into lines just a little bit there. I'm gonna go ahead all over and do one more pass. I actually think it blended out a little better with the Beauty Blender. So there's a little more texture on the other side. So we'll just take this everywhere. See if we can blend it out or build it up a little bit more with the Beauty Blender. I guess I should mention, this is fairly cheap. You can always, not fairly, it's very cheap. You can get it almost anywhere. Ulta right now, I believe when I just checked on the website, they had it for $6.49. Most times though, I've seen it usually about $5.99. Wet n Wild, they offer lots and lots of coupons if you go to the drugstore or your grocery store. I guess our grocery stores don't carry Wet n Wild, but my local CVS does, and I'm pretty sure Walgreens does. And they always have coupons, especially in your Sunday paper if you get those. I think the last one I saw was a buy two get one free on all their products, which is a great deal, especially when they're very cheap to begin with. Okay, so let's see how 2 coats did. It's very smooth, very matte, which is okay. I'm getting a little bit of texture coming through around my under eyes, which is pretty normal for me. That does look really smooth. I can't tell, I think the paint smell has dissipated a little bit, but again, I do not have a very sensitive sense of smell. Both my husband and my daughter, they both have breathing issues, so that usually heightens the sense of smell. So I will check with them to see throughout the day if they can still smell it, so I can give you a better sense of that. But I think it's pretty good. I'm going to try just one last thing. I'm going to go in just over my sunspots, just to try to build it up there. I usually don't go in for a third application, but if it covers it, it's worth it. It does feel very good on the skin. It's not really tacky at all. I might not have to set this. I want to try, this for several days with different primers and different setting techniques to let you know what works best at least for me, with my skin body chemistry. That has almost covered them up completely. I can still see just a little bit, but I have to get kind of close. At a conversational distance, I think it's actually pretty covered without feeling too bad. It wears. I'm trying to make funny faces and move around to see, but I think it actually covers pretty well. So far, so good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of my makeup on, and we'll see how it blends out, and I'll be right back and let you know. Hello, me and my massive eyebrows are back. I went a little crazy on the eyebrows today, but back to the case in point of Wet n Wild Photo Focus Liquid Foundation. I like it. I really do. I ended up not setting my face. Everything blended in just perfectly. I used, of course, my beachfront bronzer in Malibu by Unique. My blush is Anastasia Beverly Hills in, let's see, which one did I use? I guess that's Blank. I use this one over here. I use the Unique Beachfront, no, this is not Beachfront, this is the a la Mode Cream to Powder Luminizer in Benevolent, and as a cream product, that blended in just beautifully everywhere I put it. I just wanted just a little hint, nothing too shiny. Under my eyes, I have the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer. Wanted to see how that worked. It didn't blend in quite as well as I would hope. I'm not a big fan of this, but I wanted to try it since I was using the foundation. I still like my Maybelline a little better, but for today's purposes, it's okay. We'll see how it does. It already looks a little crepey under here. I did not set it either. Just wanted to go with a non-powder today. On my eyes, I have the Athena palette from Bad Habit. My eyeliner is the Physicians Formula 2-in-1 Lash Boosting Serum Plus Eyeliner in Ultra Black. My tight line is the L'Oreal Pro Line Long Wear Eye Pencil in black. My heavy eyebrows are thanks to the CoverGirl Ultra Fine Pencil Brow. I'm still getting used to this. I think the color is a little too dark. I think it's soft brown, but maybe I can find like an ash brown or something that would work a little better. In my waterline, I have the Appeal Gel Liner from Boxycharm. This was in, I believe it's Taupe. Deep Taupe. I like it a little better than I did the first time, but we'll see how long it lasts to see if it's worth it. And my new favorite right now is currently in my mascara is the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir in black. And my lips. This used to be my all-time favorite and I wore it every day. Now I just kind of pull it out when it suits me. It is the L'Oreal Infallible in Cowboy. I figured I was kind of going for an orangey brown look with everything else. Might as well go on the lips. So, like I said, it feels good so far. I didn't set it. Hopefully it won't transfer. We'll see what the wear is like on it. I'm not getting anything in, after that original time I patted out everything in my lines. It looks good. No polka dot pores, so far so good. We'll see how it goes for the rest of the day, and I will check in with you at the end of the night. Bye-bye. Hi, welcome back this evening. I am going to try to get this done real quick before my battery dies. I'm about 9 hours into the wear of this and I think it's doing really well. I'm quite pleased with it. As far as how it's wearing on my face, no polka dot pores, the most minimal amount of settling into fine lines, but nothing's moving around in my face. I think it's covering it's covering my sunspots pretty well. Usually by this time they're super visible. This one is a little more visible than on this side, and usually this side's a little worse, so I'm pleased with that. Long wear, again, we're 9 hours in. The only place, there is one weird spot right here that's kind of wearing off. I don't really think it shows up on camera, but when I look close in the mirror, it's like a teardrop. I don't know what's with that, but it's just one spot that I'm seeing wear in. Transfer, took a nap. It's didn't come off on anything. I mean, I think it's held up really well, and it's a very matte finish. It is, again, getting a little shiny in my chin. Everything else is from my highlighter, but I think it looks pretty good. I think it's not a completely flawless skin. I'm 43 years old. I'm not going to have completely flawless skin without Photoshop and filters, but I think so far it is holding up to its claims. Now tomorrow I'm going to try with a different primer. I really didn't need to set this. I might set it just to see what happens when you set it, but I am going to try the next couple of days and let you know how it does with different kinds of things. So check on me tomorrow, and I'll be back then. Bye. Alright, I am back for day 2 of the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation, Finish Foundation, and wanted to let you know how it went today. I've been wearing this for about another 8 hours, and it looks great. I mean, it really does. I am so surprised how much I like something like this that is cheap and easily accessible. I mean, there's not a whole lot I can say negatively about it. But for today, I did use my Too Faced Peach Blur setting powder to set it. I don't really think it made too much of a difference. Maybe on a hotter day I would have needed it, but again, I went outside, I did things, had no problems with it. I mean, it's not wearing at all. I think maybe I have a little bit more texture through here than I did yesterday, and that might be because of the powder. I'm not sure. I'm going to try it again with a different setting powder tomorrow, as opposed to yesterday where I had no setting powder. But it's not sinking into anything. No polka dot pores. Again, my sunspots are starting to come through, but I would say they're more than half covered, and it's so good. It feels good. I don't know what else to say. It didn't transfer even. Like the phone test thing, I wasn't even testing it, but I was talking on the phone, I was talking to my husband, and I got off the phone and I looked down and I realized there was almost nothing on it. I don't even try to test it for that because everything always fails, but this didn't. I mean, I was completely in shock. Here, this is the only negative thing I can say about this so far, is this applicator. It's not a doe foot. Let me get this so it doesn't splash everywhere, but it's like a paddle. It doesn't bend very well. I don't like that, and the outside kind of gets crusty because it's not sealing it really well. I'd much prefer a pump, a squeeze tube, or even a doe foot. I'm not even big on doe foots, but I'd much rather have a doe foot than just that paddle. That's the worst thing I can say, that and the smell, but the smell does dissipate, and it dissipates very quickly. I had my daughter test it. I went up to her and I said, smell my face. After all of the weird looks and what I was explaining to her, she said no, she couldn't smell paint at all. So that smell, while it's it can be very irritating for like the first 5 minutes or so, it goes away, and it's not just a matter of getting used to it because somebody else couldn't smell it. I mean, I'm going to test it tomorrow with a water-based primer. I'm going to try a loose setting powder. pretty much I'm just looking for faults now because this is wearing so well. The only thing I really haven't tested is a super long wear, but last night, even after I was done filming, I still wore it for a couple more hours, so I at least got to about the 10-hour mark, and it looked good. I mean, maybe if you wanted more of a luminosity to it, it wouldn't be your cup of tea, but for what it says it is, I'm getting that, and I'm so shocked, especially since I did not have a good trial with my first Wet n Wild foundation, which was the cushion foundation. I found it very uncomfortable, and while I didn't break out, it almost hurt my face. But this, I'm not having any problems with that at all. It's good. So, I mean, we'll see if something horrible happens tomorrow, but unless something really bad happens tomorrow, this is getting a big thumbs up. So I'll see you tomorrow night and let you know how it went. See you then. All right, we're back, and it's my third and final day of testing for my review of the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. And again, 3 days in a row, and I don't have a whole lot bad to say about this, and that is terrific. Surprising, but terrific. Today, the only thing I did differently was I did set it with a loose powder, and I don't like this set as well with that. I don't know if it's going to be all loose powder or just the what I used for it. I just used the Hush app that is no longer had a loose powder, translucent loose powder. I feel like it just, I don't know, my camera's probably not good enough to pick up on it, but I feel like it brought out a little more texture than it did with either the pressed powder or not setting it at all. And again, unless it's super hot or humid, I don't think you need to set this. But that's personal preference. Today I also set it with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus setting spray, but again, that didn't seem to help or hinder. It still held, it held up well even with the different setting sprays. So where does this stand? On my 5-point scale, and I'm sorry, I realize after editing some videos that I do smack my lips a lot. I'm sorry for that. I am consciously trying to break that habit. So if it annoys you, I'm working on it. Anyway, my 5-point scale. The first thing is covering those sunspots. Now today I went kind of heavy on my highlighter, so I'm super shiny right there, which I'm kind of learning to love, but that always brings out my sunspots a little bit. But I'm gonna give this a 1/2 star, which is actually very good. I have not found anything that covers them completely and covers them for the entirety of the day. If I find that, I'm gonna be in heaven. But for right now, 1/2 star is really, really good. I think it covers it maybe 75% when I first put it on, and we're down to the 50% mark in coverage by the end of the day. So, I got to give it to it on that. And I just did it again. I'm sorry. How it sits on my face. Again, 3 days going, different methods, different primers. Oh, which I didn't mention. I did use today. The primer I used was the Believe Beauty. It's a water-based primer. Let me see if I can get some of that glare out of it. It's the Dollar General brand, just a couple bucks. Not all that impressed with it, but I don't hate it either. But it's the only water-based thing I have. But that didn't seem to affect it either. But yeah, all 3 days, no problems with anything setting into fine lines. I had no problems with polka dot pores. It blended in beautifully with both my face and with the other products on my skin. So that gets a full star. Long wear, it's gone. Even though I'm filming these I'm filming these at night, but for me, I'm a night owl. This is not the end of my day. I'm still wearing these for another 3 hours after I film, so I'm getting great long wear out of it. The first day I had a little bit, I think, coming off in my chin. It's not coming off, it is a little shiny down here. This is something I've noticed with every foundation lately, so maybe I'm over moisturizing or something, because this has never happened before. But everywhere else, terrific. So I give it a full star there. Transfer, again, I did use my phone today right after I put it on. I did get a little more transfer than I did yesterday, so I'm going to put that down to the loose powder coming off a little bit. But I've had so few I'm not going to say it doesn't transfer, because everything transfers a little bit, but this is one of the best products I have used for not transferring. The claims and miscellaneous that they have, this is where I would mark a little bit off, and there are two specific reasons for that. One is the smell. Again, it doesn't really bother me that much, but it's straight on, I just painted my walls kind of smell. It goes away probably about 5 or 10 minutes that I don't notice it. My husband and daughter are both very, very sensitive to smells. Neither of them noticed it later on in the day, so I could say it definitely does go away. But if you're a person that has problems with smells, they trigger things, or you just don't like the smell, that can be a big problem. And I can't imagine that they couldn't have done something. I mean, they had to have known that the smell's dead on paint when they did it. So that's kind of something. And again, I mentioned it last night, this paddle, it's bad. It's bad. It's a bad applicator. It's probably the only thing that would have been worse is had they had no applicator whatsoever, just because I don't want to put my fingers in something every single time I use it. But those two things are bad. They really don't have anything to do with how it wears or what it looks like, but that falls into my miscellaneous. I think it did, as far as the other claims go, that it's photo focus and no filter. My skin isn't perfect. It's never going to be perfect, but it looks really good. I can't fault it there. So for those two little reasons, I will give it a half a star on that. But that brings my total for Wet n Wild Photo Focus to 4 stars. This is going to be one of my regulars. I'm so sorry that it didn't work for my friend Mandy, but I guess her loss is my gain, because it works for me. And for that price, $6 in that ballpark, you can't do much better than that. So way big thumbs up to Wet n Wild for that. I've had some customer service issues with the website that I might get into later, but as far as that foundation, go get some. Just go get some. It's cheap. It's worth it. So that's my foundation review today, and I hope you've liked this and you will like and subscribe to our channel. If you have any other foundations that you would like to see me try, please let me know in the comments, or let me know what your personal favorite foundation is. I love foundations. I love testing them. I love trying them out. I have way too many, but that's not going to stop me from buying more. So let me know what you like so that I can go out and try it myself. So until next time, I hope you have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.